What's up, y'all? It's your girl El Rochelle, the Hardwood Diva, also known as your favorite Diva Mommy to... Wait, not Diva Mommy to be. I'm a Diva Mommy. As I told you guys about a month ago, the only reason for a long layoff here on Diva Mommy Dish would be, of course, if I had my little one. And on Saturday, January 31st, that happened. I showed you guys the video just in time as far as the room, because he did come right at 39 weeks. It was an amazing experience, and today I will unveil a couple of pictures for you guys and detail a little bit about what happened in my labor and delivery. I know a lot of people wanted to hear that experience because everyone knows, you know, I was going for the natural experience, where we're going with a midwife, going with a home birth, or sorry, not a home birth, a birth center birth in the water. So I know a lot of people had questions and wanted to know how all of that went. So I will chronicle that. But first up, just want to give you guys a little background information on my munchkin. His name is Elijah Oluwapelumi. And everyone's like, wait, what? As I stated before, my husband is Nigerian, Yoruba more specifically. And in Yoruba, his middle name, Oluwapelumi, means God is with me. My husband's parents are actually the ones that came up with the name. All of my nieces and nephews have middle names that my husband's parents picked. And we were more than happy to go along with that, to have something that they found. And we kind of suggested what we wanted as far as part of the name, Oluwa, which means God. And it's also the first part of my husband's name. So we did want to keep that tradition. And of course, they were happy to oblige. I believe all of my nieces and nephews have it in their middle names. So it worked out perfectly. He was born exactly 3 weeks. Oh, well, not exactly. He was born about 3 weeks and 3 days after my nephew, David, who was born to my husband's brother and his wife. So he's got a big cousin a little bit ahead of him, and it's another boy. So it's going to be fun for my husband and his brother to kind of start raising their boys together. So he was 7 pounds, 8 ounces. I know before I said that, my midwife thought that he was going to be about 8 pounds at least. We all were surprised when he came out. He felt heavy. They put him on my stomach, and I'm like, are y'all sure? And they weighed him, and they were like 7 pounds, 8. And I'm like, wait, what? He feels bigger than that. But 7 pounds, 8 ounces, 19 inches long. And he came out, luckily for me, looking just like me. I've got pictures of my sister, myself, and my cousin on my dad's side, and all three of us look exactly alike when we were little, and Elijah looks just like that. So unfortunately for me and hubby, and plus, you know, I think I told y'all I wanted this like little chocolate super baby. Me and my husband both are chocolate to darker skin tone, and we wanted that for our baby. He'll get darker, but I don't know if he's gonna be chocolate. He may not be dark. He won't be darker than me, I know that. But hey, we love his little cute self. He came out with a full head of hair, just like his mommy. So I definitely spit this child out. He all the work that I went through, which we will talk about, it was definitely worth it because he looks just like me, and I love every minute of it. He's adorable. He's a great baby. He's a little, he cries. Don't get me wrong. He's a baby. He cries, but after this month, we're kind of getting into the swing of things and really learning what his cries mean, what everything is. So we're having a really awesome time. But on to the actual labor, delivery, the birth. That's what I know you guys want to hear about, because it is what I emphasized in my desire for natural early. So as I told you guys, I was going to go with a natural birth, no drugs, no nothing. We were going to just swoop this one out. And my prayer was that I would get the type of labor my mom had, which was 4 hours with me, 2 hours with my sister. So we'll start with Thursday, January 29th. My mother had been staying with me. She stayed with me Wednesday, was going to stay with me all day Thursday. We went to get our nails done. I met with a pediatrician. We hit a Target run, did a grocery store run. Like she was going to help me get some stuff out, because like I told everybody, I wanted my child on Sunday, February 1st, which was Super Bowl Sunday, so I needed everything to be prepared. So I was ready. I was getting everything ready for the weekend because I knew this was the weekend for my baby. So Thursday, my mom and I are out, and I'm tired. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to get to that point. We were walking through Target. I just got a cart because I needed some help. And my mom's like, come on, dog. Like, don't make this the night you going. Don't make this the day you go into labor, because that happened to her with my sister. She was shopping around that day, and then that night she went to labor. And then had my sister 2 hours later. So I was just kind of like, okay. But I was kind of starting to feel something, but wasn't sure what it was. But we did the rest of our stuff. My husband was at work that day. He came home. He was going to be off the next day, and he actually had somewhere to go that morning. So my mom was going to hang out with me until he came back, and she was going to head home and then just kind of get prepared for the possibility of coming back out this way once everything went. So that night, and it's gonna get a little graphic, just a little bit, not too much, but you know, you got to hear what happens in labor. So that night, hubby gets home around 8 o'clock. We're chilling, watching TV. And right around 10, I kind of start feeling something. Something was weird. I wasn't sure what it was. But it was feeling different. It definitely was feeling different. I'm kind of like, okay, I really think this will be the weekend. Around 11 p.m., I went to the bathroom and noticed that this very interesting substance, it was thick, it was mucousy, it's kind of tinged pink and red. I'm like, is this my mucus plug, y'all? So yeah, my mucus, and it happened twice. It was a little bit at first, and the second time it was larger, and I was like, yeah, that's my mucus plug. So that happened. I told my husband, and contractions started. We start measuring them. They were fairly strong, but you know, whatever. So I called my midwife, and she's like, if you can still talk to me, you're fine. They're not too strong, they're not too bad. Time them out, but you'll be okay. What we'll do is we'll check in the morning. So overnight, so I labored from about 11. She asked for me to come in around 9 in the morning. So I go downstairs and I tell my mom the night before. I didn't want to get her too anxious, but I told her that, hey, we're going to be going tomorrow. If you want to stay, you can. You don't have to. So she decides, of course, she wants to stay because she was supposed to be a part of everything. So she keeps my sister and my dad up. Tells them, go ahead and go to work, but just be prepared. Y'all might have to roll out, get over to LA quick. So they're good to go. Get to the midwife. She's like, okay. I'm telling her everything. It's been like 10 hours at this point. I'm like, yeah, we about to do this. She checks me. You're 1 centimeter dilated. Wait, what? Excuse me? And your water's still intact. What? No, dog, I can't. What? So she's like, no, it's not. Like, just go home and we'll check and we'll see, and maybe later this evening. Because it's a Friday. They're not open, of course, necessarily on Saturdays and Sundays. So she did want to check me before the weekend was over. So she told me, go home, labor the rest of Friday. She'll check me Friday night and we'll see where we go. So Friday, it's getting more intense. I'm just chilling at the house trying to find stuff to do. But they're coming, and they're coming at a good pace. Like every few minutes, and they're strong, and they're lasting a couple minutes. And I'm like, okay. Go into the midwife that evening, and she tells me I'm 2 centimeters. And I have a crazy contraction. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. What are you talking about? It has to be more than that. Only 1 centimeter all day? She's like, no, just 1 centimeter. So I'm like, okay. So we're on our way home. It's crazy traffic. If anyone knows LA coming from Beverly Hills down La Cienega on a Friday night at about 6 o'clock, it was horrible. I was not feeling well. I barely ate all day. My husband and she checked me, and when she checked me, she realized my water had probably broken earlier that day. So now we are on a time clock because your water, they don't like for your water to have be broken for more than 24 hours because infection and things like that can set in. So we're on a clock now. So it has to happen soon. So we go home. We're on my way home. I'm not feeling well. I'm starting to get back labor. It's getting tough, y'all. It's getting tough. We are now at about 20 hours. And I'm just like, what is this? This is not what I wanted. Not what I expected. So we're going through everything because I can't stay at the midwife, the birth center, if I'm less than 6 centimeters. So we got to progress quickly. I'm like, this got to go because I can't do this. I'm in the car. I barely ate anything. Had a protein shake before we left. On the way home, I'm sitting in the car. We're in crazy traffic. And I throw up in the car because the protein shake just wasn't sitting on my stomach well. And this is just from all the pain, everything. I'm seeing red. This is crazy. This is not what I expected. So I'm supposed to labor through the night. And the back labor is getting horrendous to deal with. I get up out of bed in the middle of the night. I want to say it's like 2 or something. I'm in the tub just trying to cool myself, just chill, tossing and turning because I couldn't sleep, peeing every 5 seconds, my water. And it's just not okay. I'm at the point, I'm like screaming in the tub, calling my husband's name. He's knocked out sleep. My mom comes upstairs like, are you calling mom or Sean? I don't know who you calling. So we called the midwife and she's like, coming at 6 because she finished a birth and she was still there overnight. So we come in at 6. I'm at 3 centimeters. And she's like, oh my gosh, like what? This is Saturday morning. We have now passed 24 hours, y'all. 24. We passed it. So I am just not having any of this. So she decides, well, what we'll do is by the middle of the day, I'm going to send the other midwife who's supposed to be on call. When she comes down into town, I'll have her just come to your house first, check you, and we'll decide from there what we do. So she gets to my house about 1 p.m., checks me, and she's like, okay. And I'm thinking, okay, after all of this crap we done been through, I got to be at 6 so we can go to the midwife. Go to the birth center, and I'm at 4. I'm at 4 centimeters. After nearly 36 hours of labor, I am at 4 centimeters. So at this point, I just look at my husband and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous. So I asked the midwife, if this were you, what would you do? Because our options are you can go to the Whittier Birth Center and be there because you're across the street from the hospital and Simona's there. Or you can go, we can stay at home, and I'm like, if this were you, what would you do? She said, I'd go to the hospital. So the other birth center that my midwife has, she has rights at the hospital right across the street. So I go to that hospital. So now we've broken with part of my plan, which is having it at a birth center. I will not be having a water birth. I am in the hospital. So she's like, I would totally go to the hospital and just kind of start letting them help you. So we get there. And at this point, I've decided I don't care what it's going to take. I'm getting an epidural, y'all. Like, I can't do this for longer than 36 hours. This is ridiculous. So by the time we get to the hospital, it's probably about 3:30, 4 p.m. Like I said, I'm past 36 hours. I'm at like 40 almost at that point. So they give me IV meds just to kind of help with the pain and to relax me. The anesthesiologist was doing a surgery, so they had to wait on hand. So they wanted me to at least get the IV pain meds to kind of calm me. My husband's mom had come over. She was sitting with me for a while. Like I just had 2 people on each end just to squeeze hands, and they were both my mom or my husband and my mother-in-law. So we all go to the hospital. My mom went to my parents' house to get my sister and my dad so they can come up. So we get to the hospital. They give me the IV pain meds. The anesthesiologist is finished quicker than they thought, so they give me the epidural. My midwife shows up. We're talking. And the good thing is everything starts progressing a lot better at this point. I'm moving quicker. And a lot of things are going. My son's heart rate dropped, which kind of starts scaring people. But my midwife is like, we're going to do this. We're going to get it done. And you're not going to have a C-section. We're going to get it. So we push through. My mother-in-law is cheering me on. My husband is holding my leg. One of the nurses is holding my leg. My midwife's down here. My mom is taping everything and taking pictures. And at 10:03 p.m., I still was able to, at the very least, vaginally deliver my son. And They put him on my stomach. I'm excited, and he peed on me. Yeah, he baptized me, as they say. But it was an exciting experience. It was definitely cool to know that my midwife told me if it had been 5 minutes longer, I would have very well had a C-section, because everyone in the hospital was pushing for it, and she was pretty much the only one telling the OB, don't do it. Luckily, I had her, and she was able to deliver my son, and the OBs there trust her, so they went with what she said, and she said, no, she's fine, she's going to do it. So she's like, you're a trooper, you made it, you don't know how close you came. But through it all, the one thing I told people is, after everything, I'm still so excited that I was able to vaginally deliver my son. I didn't have to worry, I didn't get cut open. And even through it all, I still had a birth that when I look back, I can still be proud of myself, because I really tried. I really wanted to do this with no pain medication or anything like that. But I think I was just too tense, I'm very cerebral, and sometimes I'm too in my mind about things, and I believe that's part of what happened with the birth. I was having great contractions. I didn't need Pitocin. I didn't need anything to encourage contractions. Contractions were coming. My muscles were just tight and weren't releasing, which is kind of what happens with me sometimes when I'm tense. So it made sense. But I believe now that I know what to expect with the next one, it'll definitely be easier. We will not be having 47 hours or anything. But it was an amazing experience. I loved the hospital. They were very nice, very sweet people. It actually worked out well because my husband had his own bed. I had my own bed. The baby slept in there with us. They did not take him for very long, like to take him away. My midwife made sure that he was with me most of the time, made sure I got the skin-to-skin contact, made sure my husband got that time. They never left him in the nursery over any period of time. It was just like to take vital signs and do little checks, and they would bring him back immediately. And the hospital was very sweet, gave us some stuff, got a car seat I was able to give to my mom, so my mom and my dad have stuff. So in the end, it was still a good experience. I know there were a lot of people that, I don't want to say hate it, but were like, that's not fair. She barely gained weight. She didn't have any of this. She didn't have any of that. Well, for all of y'all, I had a crazy labor, so you can take solace in that fact if it makes you feel better. I don't know. But I am really happy with everything that happened. And I'm not gonna lie, I lost the baby weight. Hey, boos, I'm back. Yeah. So now it's just about working out and getting everything toned. And back to my more athletic builds, because that's what I like. But overall, it was a great experience, and I'm so excited to have my son in my life. It has been an amazing 4 weeks with him. Watching him grow, he's gained 2 pounds, getting his little chunky monkey face, little chunky monkey legs. I love chubby babies. So it's just been a really awesome experience, and he's taken over our families, especially mine. My parents and my sister and my aunts are crazy. Pictures every day, but it's great. It's great. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. I will be back with y'all next week, and I may let you see the little one. So I'll holler at you later. Deuces.